Guys, how's everyone doing? So I found this online and I thought it would be pretty fun to do because it's basically that's what it's called. It's not basically. It's a life in the UK test. So this is a life in the UK test, one of 45 for British citizenship, and LR applications. No, ILR. Sorry, I need to get my eyes tested. I swear to God. Yeah, ILR. It contains 24 questions with an audio and correct answers. I really do need to get my eyes tested. It's so horrendous with my eyesight. Across 5 categories. Answers 18 or more questions correctly to pass. So I'm not sure if they still do this or not because I'm quite curious to know how it could be possible that there's GB News literally found a town in England where literally no one can speak English. So yeah, I'm curious if they still do this or not. But anyway, I thought it would be quite fun to see as someone who is from the UK, from Scotland, who is indigenous to this land, if I would pass a test to see if I could live in the UK or not. Let's hope so. Oh, I'll be so embarrassed if I fail this. So embarrassed. Alright. Okay. So the questions in this test are based on the following study materials. Okay. Life in the United Kingdom, a guide for new residents. Well, I hope I pass that. I'm a bloody old resident by now. And revision notes. Press start to begin your test. Alright, here we go. Now, I encourage other people to try this if you're from the UK, and if you do, please write in the comments, and don't lie. Don't fudge the numbers. Write in the comments, what you got. Tell me how you scored. Did you pass to be able to become a UK citizen? So here we go. Start. Okay. What is known as Lent? So the 40 days before Easter, 40 days after Christmas, 40 days before Christmas, or the 40 days after Easter. So I know this one because I am a Christian. So yes, it's 40 days before Easter are known as Lent. So next we go. Which country's flag is not part of the Union flag? So we've got Wales, Ireland, Scotland, and England. I'm sure it's Ireland. Wait. What? How did I get this one wrong? Oh yeah, because the Welsh. I'm trying to remember what the Welsh flag's like, because Wales is so small that we tend to kind of forget it's there. It's I'm not trying to be discriminatory at all against to the Welsh people. The Welsh are the greatest. They truly are. I'm so sorry, Welsh people. And that's so horrible that your flag is not attached to the Union Jack, considering you're literally attached to the UK, so yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. The Welsh dragon is not part of the Union flag. Oh yeah, because the Welsh, it's like a red dragon, isn't it? So I could see how that could be kind of weird trying to incorporate that into the Union Jack, because you've got the St Andrew's Cross on the Union Jack. You've got the George Cross. What have you got for Ireland? I would need to look at the Irish flag. For the life of me, at the moment, I can't think of what the Northern Irish flag looks like right now. I don't know. I'm sorry. But yeah, okay. I got that wrong. Alright. What is the judiciary responsible for? Deciding whether a person is guilty, interpreting the law, looking after a jury, or putting people in prison. You'd almost want to say that, wouldn't you? You wouldn't, you know? So the judiciary was it interpreting the law? Yeah. So judges who are together called the judiciary are responsible for interpreting the law and ensuring that trials are conducted fairly. I know this because recently we had a report come out that white men when they're getting background checks done, having to get any special treatment, but women and minorities and different religious backgrounds and stuff, and transgender people and stuff, like they all were allowed to get these special background reports done that lessens a sentence or means like you don't go to prison. So it was incredibly like racist and bigoted, and yeah. So I know that one. Okay. When did Habeas Corpus Act become law? Oh God, I don't. Habeas Corpus Act become law. This is going to be an absolute guess for me. Like, let's go for 1683. Yeah. I was going to pick 1679 as well, but I truly have to say that was a guess. Even if I'd have got that right, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, it would have been a lucky guess. So the Habeas Corpus Act became law in 1679. This was a very important piece of legislation which remains relevant to this day. Habeas corpus is Latin for you must present the person in court. The act guaranteed that no one could be held a prisoner unlawfully. Every prisoner has a right to a court hearing. So it's like due process, what they have in America. Okay. Next question. Which of the events in the bombing of the English city... Which of the events is the bombing of English cities by the Germans? It was definitely the Blitz. Because the Battle of Britain was when we had the planes fighting, the Nazi planes that came over to bomb us. Dunkirk is, nothing to do with it. D-Day's at the end. Yeah, so it's definitely the Blitz. So yeah, the Blitz was the German Air Force bombing London. And they bombed London, killed thousands of Brits and other British cities at night time. The phrase the Blitz spirit is still used today to describe Britain's pulling together in the face of adversity. And we did. British people pulled together and rebuilt, sent their kids to live in countrysides and keep them safe. The adults that stayed and rebuilt the cities. I can't imagine, it must be horrible to have lived in a time where at night you didn't know if your town or city, it was mostly like London, but also other areas, was going to be bombed, by Nazi scumbags. But okay, alright, next question. Why is it called the Glorious Revolution? I've never heard of this before. Women were given the right to vote because there was no fighting, because of new technology advances, because of new achievements. I'm going to go for technology because, yeah. Oh. I don't know. That's the Industrial Revolution, wasn't it? I should have read these questions more. Because there was no fighting. Oh, wait, that's a nice thing. The event was later called the Glorious Revolution because there was no fighting in England, and because it guaranteed the power of Parliament, ending the threat of a monarch ruling on his or her own as he or she wished. Oh, I didn't know this. That's a fact. Like, I don't even know this. So, yeah. So they called it the Glorious Revolution when the monarch basically lost, like, I'm so sorry. I've noticed I say like a lot. I've really noticed, especially when I'm listening to things back. So I do apologise for that. But I can't help it. It's not a bit. So yeah. Sorry about this. My throat's sore. I've got horrible hay fever. So we'll go to the next question. Which of these venues is located in Greenwich? The Copenhagen Concert Hall, the SECC, the O2, or the what's that? The Auditorio de Tenerife. I wouldn't say Copenhagen Concert Hall or Tenerife. The O2s, is that not? It's like, I'm absolutely crap at this. Oh my god, I would never get. I'm gonna go for the SECC, the O2. Oh yeah, because Greenwich is in luck. I am such an idiot. There are many large venues that host music events throughout the year, such as the O2 in Greenwich and the Scottish Exhibition and Conference Centre. Oh my god, I am such an idiot. Of course, the SECC it's in Glasgow. I should know this. I've been there. I went to see like Britney Spears. I took my daughter and went to see Britney Spears. I've been to other many concerts there. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, I can't believe like I did that there. Greenwich, and I know, because I know Greenwich is not in Scotland, and the SEC, I know, like, oh my god, I can't, like, that is embarrassing. That's so embarrassing, alright. When did the UK leave the European Union following the Brexit vote? I'm going to say it was, oh gosh, when, like, the Brexit vote wasn't that long ago, it was only a few years ago. It wasn't in 1987 because, like, it was due, like, I could vote. So I'm going to say 2020. Because, yeah, I couldn't vote in 1987. I was just a kid, a baba. So the EU, originally called the European Economic Community. Is that what it was originally called? Economic Community. They, like, take everything. I guess why they've changed the name. Was set up by 6 Western European countries: Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. Well, we never even, like, were part of it when it was created. That's different, you know. Normally, like, we've got our beak and everything, you know, like, so yeah, the UK originally decided not to join this group, but it became a member in 1973. The UK Brexit vote is in 2020, and there are now 27 EU member states. Oh, okay, that's, okay, alright. When was the first British Prime Minister, Sir Robert Walpole, in power? I didn't even know that was our first, like, oh, I feel like such an idiot. But how the hell he made, like, I blame British skills, like, honestly. There I go again with that blooming word. I blame British skills. I had no idea that our first British Prime Minister was called Sir Walter Walpole. Like, and, oh my, I'm so sorry. Done it again. Oh, Angela, stop it. So, in America, obviously, you hear a lot of Washington and Lincoln and stuff, so they're very patriotic and proud of their first, like, leaders and stuff. Whereas, yeah, here it's only, like, I'm so sorry that I keep saying that. I'm going to stop apologising. I can't help it, alright? I cannot help it. So we hear a lot about Churchill and Thatcher. Who else would I know is like Prime Minister? Cameron and Blair. But other ones, we change Prime Ministers so much. It's not like America where, a few years back we had 3 Prime Ministers in the space of a couple of months. One of them lasted, I think, about 11 days. Liz Truss, I think. No, I don't think I know her name was. So, alright, we could just get to the question, Angela. When was the first British Prime Minister? Okay, I should have, remembered that because of the previous question regarding the monarchy. But I've bloody forgot now when the monarchy, when that glorious rule thing. When was that? Didn't it say 1740 odd? So I'm going to go for... Oh my God. Oh, the first man to be called Prime Minister was Sir Robert Walpole, who was Prime Minister from 1721 to 1742. I didn't know we had Prime Ministers as early as back then. Honestly, I really didn't. Thought we got Prime Ministers maybe in the 18th century. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I honestly didn't know that. So that's a fail again. What country's national flower is a thistle? And I should definitely know this, because it's mine. Scotland. The thistle is the national flower of Scotland. And for England, I'm sure it's the rose. For Wales, it's a leek. Not technically a flower, but it's something, I guess. I don't know why they've chosen a leek. And for Ireland, they have the clover, I think. Yeah. Okay. Who developed ideas about economics during the Enlightenment period, which is still referred to today? Wasn't Isaac Newton? I don't think it was him. Adam Smith, James Watt, and David Hume. Okay. Who developed ideas about economics during the Enlightenment period, which is still referred to today? I'm going to go with Adam Smith, because I know the others were obviously inventors and stuff, and Adam Smith, I'm sure he was an economist in economics. Let me read it. Many of the great thinkers of the Enlightenment were Scottish. What's that word I'm looking for? A burn to the rest of the UK. Sorry, we're just so good. I'm only kidding. Many of the Scottish were Scottish. Okay, Adam Smith developed ideas about economics, which are still referred to today. David Hume's ideas about human nature continue to influence philosophy. Scientific discoveries such as James Watt's work on steam power helped the progression of the Industrial Revolution. Tons of inventors came from Scotland. I mean, I should need to do a video alone on literally Scotland invented everything in the world. It's basically invented so much of what is still in use today. Even I was shocked when I looked into the amount of things that were invented in Scotland. It is unbelievable the amount of things like tires, roads, ATM machines, cash lines, x-rays, radar, steam engines, telephone, the TV, the fridge freezer, the Hoover, the lawnmower. I could go on and on and on and on. There is absolutely tons of things that were invented by Scott. Penicillin. There's a massive list. I do need to do a video of it because it is a massive flex, I guess, you know. Okay, let's go next. One TV license covers all of the equipment at one address, but people who rent different rooms in a shared house must buy a separate TV license. You know, I don't watch basic like TV like in Britain. I don't like the BBC. Basically, why we have to have a TV license. I don't watch BBC iPlayer. I don't watch nothing. I have nothing whatsoever to do with the BBC. I don't even listen to a radio station from the BBC. We have to pay for. It's basically a government. British. The BBC is basically the government's propaganda channel. You know, it spews out whatever the government, whatever the government wants enforced and what stories the government wants shoved down our throats. So, yeah, I don't particularly like the BBC very much. I know the other channels are... Now, the BBC doesn't have adverts. So they con us by saying, like, oh, because we don't have advertisers, which I absolutely despise as well. I have to admit that. There's nothing worse than sitting watching a show, you know. I even hate it on YouTube. I hate it. So I like as well, like, I constantly never wanted to monetize my channel because I absolutely hate sitting watching a video and you're just getting into it, enjoying it, and bang, a bloody advert pops up. And it's even worse when, like, you can ask YouTube to add a couple of adverts in and they'll put them sporadically somewhere, or you could ask them to put one at the beginning and one at the end, and that I was alright with. But you also can self do it, and you were getting, and you still do, I guess, some YouTubers that are... There was one video I watched, like, I love, like, Lady Colin Campbell, but I'll mention this. There was one video I was watching of hers, and I'm not even joking, y'all, I literally sat and counted it out. It was a 30-odd minute video, and every 2 minutes, it was less than 2 minutes, like, it was literally every minute and 40-odd seconds, there was a bang, an advert, and you get 2 minutes, bang, another advert. I think I counted about, I don't know, 15, 16 adverts in this one 30-minute video. I thought, this is ridiculous. It was unwatchable, and I just felt, to be honest, like, I understand, like, people use the advert because to make money from YouTube, you get money from ad revenue. But so I understand why people will throw a couple of adverts in there, and I am super grateful to people that'll put them at the start and the beginning, and maybe one in the middle, you know. But you get people that throw, honest to God, like, you can't sit and watch a video where every 2 or 3 minutes there's and it's not even just one ad, and there's a setting as well for you can skip the ad after, I think it's like 5 seconds, sorry. So you can skip it, you know, so you get 5 seconds of the ad and you can push skip. But there's also like a thing you can do where you get paid more, where you're not, the viewer's not allowed to skip the video. You've got to sit there and watch the 30-second advert, and there's 2 of them, so 60 seconds, you know, advert, which adds, like, so to a 30-minute video, that adds like an extra, 15 minutes or something, like, to the video. So it's a 45-minute video, 30 minutes content, and the other 15's ads. And it's unwatchable because you're just getting into it, because like I do enjoy Lady Collins' rants, and I like it when she gets right in there and gives Megan a what for, and I do enjoy listening to her voice. She's got a very pleasant voice. I do enjoy it. But it's unwatchable. You're sitting there watching it, advert, and it's like two adverts, you can't skip them. So you're watching again, advert two, and you're like, for God's sake, this is just getting greedy now. Come on, like, you need all these adverts in there? I know this has went on for me doing this test to ranting about YouTube ads, but okay, I'm sorry about that. Alright, so let's go back to the test. One of the TV license, I go off in tangents, I apologise. I'm Scottish, I just blame everything on that. One of the TV license covers all of the equipment at one address, but people who rent different rooms in a shared house must buy a separate license. I would say that might be false. Like, does one TV license cover an entire property? Let's say false. It's true! I swear to God, they're so bloody greedy. The BBC are so greedy. Oh, wait now. One TV license covers all of the equipment at one address, but people who rent different rooms in a shared house must buy a separate TV license. They're so bloody greedy. Why can't, just the thought of needing a license to watch the TV is a joke in itself, Another joke, £100 like a year you have to pay, and there used to be separate ones where, because you used to get black and white TVs, and then you get colour TVs, and poorer people had the black and white TVs. And the black and white TV license, I'm remembering this from my gran and stuff, were a bit cheaper than the coloured TV license. So yeah, but you think like one license would cover like an entire household? But yeah, well, they'll squeeze those ad bucks. Unbelievable. Alright, magistrates and justices of the peace, okay, are members of what? So, the local community, they're not members of that. Their ruling party, they're not, that's not that, because that's the ruling parties, basically whatever political party's in power. So the Law Society, no, I think it's definitely like the police. What? The local community, magistrates and justices of the peace are members of the local community. In England, Wales and Scotland, look, they usually work unpaid and do not need legal qualifications. They receive training to do the job and are supported by a legal advisor. Magistrates and justice of the peace are members of the local community. They're unpaid and do not need legal... That's a bit strange, isn't it? That you can be a magistrate and you don't need to have any legal qualifications. And we have this in England, Wales and Scotland. Yeah, I had no idea about that. I would have assumed that would have been the police. Okay, guess I'm wrong. Right. A 2-minute silence is observed on Easter to commemorate the death of Jesus Christ. I want to see this to be true. But even last Easter, the head of our church didn't even commemorate the death of, no, that's the wrong word, didn't even mention the resurrection and death of Jesus Christ. Never mind, a 2 minutes, so I'm going to say that's false. Yeah, I didn't think that was true because, Yeah, I've never seen that done. Remembrance Day, we have it on Remembrance Day, commemorates those who died fighting for the UK and the Allies, originally commemorating the dead of the First World War, which ended 11th of November 1918. People wear poppies, the red flower found on the battlefields of the First World War. And at 11 a.m. there's a 2-minute silence, and wreaths are laid at the Cenotaph in Whitehall in London. I'm sure that many of you have all seen that, because you probably, you know, obviously, regard about the royal family and stuff, so I don't need to tell you that. So there we are. Peers nominated by the Prime Minister can only serve for their... Peers nominated by the Prime Minister can only serve for their lifetime. I'm going to say that's true, because I think peers nominated by, like, that's the Sir, you know, peers. So, and I hear, like, David Beckham's going to be Sir Beckham. Think of them nominated by, like, the King. It can be passed down to their sons. So if they're nominated Sir, their wife will become a lady, and then if they die, like, their daughter, their son or daughter's what can inherit that title. But by the Prime Minister, I'm going to say that it's only for their lifetime. Please make that to be true, because he nominated Sadiq Khan, and yeah, we don't want little Sir Khans, like, for forever. Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought that. So, since 1958, the Prime Minister has had the power to nominate peers just for their own lifetime. These are called life peers. They are usually had an important career in politics, business, law, or another profession. Life peers are appointed by the monarch. Yeah, so that's what I thought, so I was right. Okay, so next question. Which two countries took part in the Battle of Agincourt? Now, we recently had a submarine that was going to be called Agincourt, and it got changed because we thought it would offend the French. I know, like, who cares? Offending the French, you know, like, not that, like, I don't dislike French people. I'm not saying that at all, you know, but it's well known that the British and the French have not had the best of relationships throughout the years, even up until this very day, where they continuously shove boats into our part of the channel. Their naval, we pay them half $500 million a year just so they can stop the illegal boats with the migrants on them from coming into from basically rowing over to our country, you know. So we pay the French to stop this, but they don't. We see their navy escorting these boats into our side of the water, and they'll leave them there, and our lifeboats will come and whisk them up, because I don't know why they just don't push them back over to, like, the French side. But yeah, that would be a bit like ping pong, wouldn't it? They'd just push them back to us, you know. So it's like a losing bloody battle. I don't know why we pay France anything, because they do, like, and I understand, like, why they push them over to us, because they don't want them. Like, look at the riots that always happen in France. I mean, literally, France is... How many times has France in Paris been set ablaze by these, like, by migrants and French protesters and stuff? It's like, I think it was like last year, the year before, like, looked like it's something out of... I'm trying to think, like, I'm trying to think of a movie to, like, think of a movie like, I don't know, London Has Fallen, where like the whole of Paris, people were like set cars and buildings ablaze. The migrants had stolen guns and stuff and were shooting at the police. They were robbing people like in their homes and driving cars into people's houses. It literally looked like, yeah, like the movie London Has Fallen, but it was Paris Has Fallen. So we're gonna like say France. Come on. Where's the answer? It's France. I know it's France. Why you not letting me pick it? But yeah, we had a submarine that was going to be called Agincourt, and we changed it because it would offend the French, and they changed it to oh, what's that? Oh my, I know the name because there's a movie and Brad Pitt played oh the oh Achilles, sorry. So and Achilles was killed by a brother who'd stolen Helen of Troy, named Paris. So that was more offensive, like, to us. So we changed the name of a submarine not to offend the French, and end up naming it Achilles, a submarine after a character that was killed by someone called Paris, which I don't know is a bit which is more offensive, you know. Yeah. So it's definitely France. Why is it not letting me pick it? Because Agincourt is not in Scotland, Wales, or England. It's in France. It's not letting me pick it, but I know it's in France. Who's credited with the introduction of the NHS, the National Health Service? So, wasn't that... Oh my god, who did, like, do that? Churchill? It wasn't Florence Nightingale. David Hume. And Bevan. And honestly, I can't even see that name. Aneurin Bevan. Okay, it's no. I'm gonna say, like, I want to say Hume, but I'm gonna say like Churchill. It's either between one of them two. Oh, it was Bevan. Okay, never even heard of this name. So, Aneurin Bevan, the Minister of Health, led the establishment to the NHS, which guaranteed a minimum standard of healthcare for all, free at the point of use. Okay, interesting. Didn't know that. The Speaker is a Member of Parliament, so MP. He or she, got to get them pronouns in there, represents a constituency and deals with constituents' problems like any other MP. So the Speaker of the House is that guy. So it's like, order. And I'm sure they don't have a constituent. I don't know if they do or not. It's that guy that's... I mean, I don't even know his name. I just recognise him. He's got a really thick accent. Northernish accent. Yeah, I'm going to say false. Oh, it's true. I didn't know that either. So the Speaker is neutral and does not represent a political party. You could fool me with that one, okay? Even though he or she isn't a Member of Parliament, represents a constituency and deals with constituents' problems like any other MP. So how does that work? Like, I'm confused in that then. How does that work? Like, because people will run on a ticket. So do they... And they'll be part of a political party like Labour, the Tories, Now we've got Reform, the Liberal Democrats, the other ones that are you got UKIP, I guess, I don't know. So they're on an independent one. I need to look into that. Like, yeah, I'm never getting I'm never getting UK citizenship. What religion were Puritans? Buddhists, Jews, Protestants, and Catholics. Now, they weren't Buddhists, and they weren't Jews. Let me go for... Oh, I meant to... Honestly, meant to press Protestants there, and I feel stupid there, because, like, yeah, I know about the Protestant Puritan, so yeah, that's my bad there, and I'm generally being serious there. I clicked, yeah, I'm sorry, I really need glasses, I need glasses, but, oh, I can't believe, like, okay, can't change it now. Who can nominate life peers? Select 2. So that would be the monarch. Why am I not allowed to select that one? Like, we got the answer earlier. Like, I know that anyway because I explained it earlier that the Prime Minister could... Oh, wait, now. It is the Prime Minister. So there, yeah. Oh, I was to pick 2. I didn't know what that meant. I thought that meant part 2. What an idiot. That's why it never selected, because you meant to select 2 of the boxes. Alright, okay, so we know that the Prime Minister and also leaders or other main political parties can select them. Okay. What country did Hitler invade in 1939? I'm going to say Poland, because Hitler never invaded the USA. Yeah, I'm going to say Poland, because I think Poland was the first to go, yeah. So the British government tried to avoid another war, however, when Hitler invaded Poland, Britain and France declared war in order to stop his aggression. So name the most famous cricket competition with a series of test matches played between England and Australia. It's the Ashes, isn't it? So yeah, so Britain's a big cricket place. I don't follow cricket, don't know anything about cricket. I played it at school, but yeah, other than that, yeah, I've got no affiliation to cricket. I know India is a big, huge cricket fan base, and Australia and England as well, but other than that, I'm trying to think, like, I don't even know other countries that play cricket, but there's the ones I know. Pakistan, I'm sure, does as well. Okay. In England and Wales, the small claims procedure is an informal way to help people to settle minor disputes, claims of less than, is it, 5, I thought it would be 5, but, so small claims court, in America, isn't it like $5,000, but we're talking about Britain. Let's go for 4,000. So 10,000, okay. I didn't know that. So England and Wales is 5,000. That's where where I was like thinking 5,000. Because I'm like thinking it's Scotland. Okay. What tribes invaded Britain after the Romans had left? The Vikings. Oh my god. The Anglo-Saxons. Ugh. That's crazy, like, because... Isn't that crazy? Because the Romans invaded, but they couldn't penetrate Scotland. We were just too mental for them, you know. So they built a wall to basically wall us in. England likes to take. I've been ribbed about this many times when I've lived down in England. Oh, didn't we build a wall to keep yous out? You know, and they're like, yous didn't build the wall, the Hadrian's Wall. The Romans built it, and it wasn't to keep us out of England. It was the Romans were so scared of us. It was to keep us in because they feared us. You know, they thought we were they basically thought we were savages. So that's crazy because then you've got the Anglo-Saxons. So it shows like the Scottish people have been indigenous to this land even longer than what you'd class as now the Anglo-Saxons are the English people now. So yeah, it's mad. The Normans would be French, weren't they? And the Celts are us basically, and the Irish. So yeah. So the Roman army left Britain in AD 410. So that's mad. Like the Scottish people have been on this piece of land like for a long time, thousands of years, to defend other parts of the Roman Empire, and they never returned. I wonder why. The weather sucked and they hated it. Britain was again inadvertently so it was tribes from Northern Europe and the Anglos and the Saxons, and I can't read that other word. And you had the Picts and the Celts and stuff. So, okay. Which two countries took part in the Battle of Agincourt? So I'm going to say France and England. France, England. Thank you for allowing me to at least answer that question. Oh my gosh. Look at the score. Look, less than 50%. What does it say? Your application for asylum has been rejected with a big stamp. I can see Keir Stalin using this to like get rid of Brits. You can't do the test, you're deported. Oh, that's a bit embarrassing. But be fair, one question I did click on it wrong, and the other one I got right, but it never allowed me to click on the answer. So I would say I got maybe 49%. But even at that, that's still utterly embarrassing. Sorry. I need to do a little bit more revisionism into British history. Some of these people I have never heard of. I don't know what that says about British skills teaching British history. It seems we learn more about other countries' history than we do our own. We honestly do, because our schools never taught us about. I mean, we learned about World War II. We learned about. Yeah, that's basically like you got like World War II and a few other things thrown in there, but nothing. I mean, things like Henry VIII and stuff, you know, that things that I don't know, like yeah, that as of first Prime Minister and topics like that, yeah, we never got that. If you wanted to learn about, because the British as well, like I'm not saying that our part in it wasn't horrific, but the fact that we also ended like slavery, that was never taught to us either. Well, it was a little bit, but it was to me. We were never taught that we ended it. We were made to feel guilty. And yeah, we should be forever sorry for that, as is every other country that's ever participated the slavery, and every country's been slaves at one time or other. I mean, the word slave is literally from it means it's a Slavic word. Slavic is for slave, and the Greeks took slaves from um European countries that they beat in battle. Britain, I guess, British people were taken as slaves by the Barber slave traders that were these were actual African slave traders, because a lot of African monarchs and that sold their own. They were basically rounding up their people and taking them to the beach, and yeah, it wasn't good at all. But there was also another which was more of a Middle Eastern side to it, where a North African, which was the Barbary slave trade, where they were basically stealing people off of like the coast of England and stuff. So yeah, you had millions of white people that were taken into servitude and sent to like Middle Eastern countries. So yeah, but yeah, that's absolutely mortifying. Paris, but please do this test yourself and let me know how you do in the comments. Did you do worse than me, and would you get? Well, you probably would, because everybody now gets citizenship into the UK. But at the time where immigration was stricter, would you have got citizenship? Would you have passed? Alright, I'm gonna go now. I love you all, and I'll be back later.